Hey everyone, it's Prime with Iron Octopus Fitness. Today's Technique Tuesday is super important, but nice and quick. It is the dead bug. This is definitely an exercise you should be adding into your warm-ups or your cool downs or your ab work every single time that you train. There are a couple of reasons why I like the dead bug. Number one, it's got a pretty cool name and you get to pretend like you're a dead bug when you're doing it. Like if you're morbid and into things like that, then that's cool. The second thing that's really neat about the dead bug is that it requires you to work contralateral. You're moving opposite limbs, opposing limbs at the same time. That's really important for someone in a sport that, say, wants to be able to fake in one direction and then go in another, or needs to be able to quickly change their lateral movement. The other thing I really like about the dead bug is that it's super easy to progress. So if you don't have a lot of core strength and you have a trouble with kind of the basic dead bug, there are ways to work it down. And if you have a lot of core strength and you want to increase the resistance, then there are ways to work it up as well. So there is never a reason for anyone anywhere in the world to not have the dead bug as part of their program. Without further ado, although that was already a lot of ado, here's the dead bug. Assume the position, make sure everything's nice and stacked. So I'm gonna lay down on my back, and then I'm going to assume the dead bug position, which is essentially my arms sticking up straight above my shoulders so that my shoulder and my elbow and my wrist are all stacked in a straight line. My knees bent at a 90-degree angle and stacked above my hips. Knees above hips, elbows and wrists above shoulders the whole time that you're doing the exercise. The second thing that we do when we do a dead bug is we're going to lower one hand and the opposite leg. So in this case, I'm lowering my right hand, keeping my arm straight. I'm gonna lower it down to the ground. I can touch my thumb on the ground if I want to, but I don't have to. And at the same time, I'm going to extend my opposite leg. So in this case, I'm gonna extend my left leg. They're gonna go at the same time until they're both extended out, and then I'm gonna bring them back up, get them back where they started. It looks simple on the surface, but there are a lot of ways in which your body cheats to make the dead bug easier, and that is not what we want. One of the ways your body's gonna cheat is that it's gonna wanna bring your knees and your elbows kind of closer into your chest because they're easier to support here. Every time you reset your dead bug, you have to make sure that everything is stacked. The second way that your body is gonna really cheat this movement, especially when you're extended out, it's gonna arch your lower back. So there's a space right here between my lower back and the ground, and when I extend my arm and my leg out, my body's going to create this space to take the pressure off my core and not let my core actually do the work, which is not what I want. Tucking your pelvis towards your belly button like this so that it flattens that back out, and you have to keep it that way the whole time. So if I don't focus on keeping my lower back kind of pressed into the ground and my hips tilted forward, one of the things that's gonna happen is, see, my back just naturally arches. Every time I'm gonna reset, tuck my pelvis, get my lower back as close to touching the ground as possible, and then try and keep it there while I do the exercise, and that's when you'll feel your core kind of tense up and contract and do the work it's supposed to do. The last thing is, if you try this and it's really difficult to coordinate like all of the opposite moving limbs, you can always start with just your legs. Hold your hands above your shoulders and they just stay there, and you're just gonna do your legs first, making sure that your hips are tilted, your lower back is pressed into the ground, and you're just extending your legs. And then once you get used to that, then you can start adding in the opposing arm. The really important thing about the dead bug is that it is an exercise that if you want to get work out of it, which obviously you do, otherwise why would you be doing it, you need to stay focused in your body on what your body is doing. You cannot stop thinking about the dead bug because your body will cheat you. Don't let it. There are lots of ways to add additional resistance to the dead bug. So I would recommend going to YouTube or some sort of exercise compendium website and searching in like dead bug with resistance or dead bug variations, and a whole bunch of ideas will pop up because there are lots of things you can do with bands, kettlebells, utility balls, and all of them will add to the work that your core is doing and give you more challenge. That's the dead bug. So make sure you're focusing on those two fixes to make sure that your dead bugs are as effective as possible and you're ready to roll. Please, please, please add this into your warm-up.